Today I wanted to show you in a plein air demonstration how thinking of the big shapes in your painting first allows you to be looser and more painterly. Hi, Ian Roberts and Mastering Composition. So seeing the big shapes in your painting before you start, either by doing a drawing or, as I'll show you in this demonstration in a moment, just by working out the big shapes on your canvas before you begin, one gives you a clear map, you could say, of where you're going with your painting. And two, that gives you the confidence just to lay in those big shapes, which three, allows you to be looser in the quality of your painting. You become more painterly because you're really just carrying the painting with these big shapes. So you find you're then not fussing and frustrated, often with a little brush on some irrelevant detail. Rather, the painting rests on bold, simple shapes of a strong compositional structure. So I'm going to show you this in a Monument Valley plein air painting I did last month. And it's true, the landscape's very stark, so it kind of lends itself to this idea of the big shapes. But because of that, I think it's a great example to illustrate the idea. This is the panorama I was looking at in the afternoon light. And obviously, to my mind anyway, it's just way too much to paint. And so I cropped it. You'll see when I do the painting. I definitely got rid of that pole. I came in about like that. So this is closer to what I actually did. It probably stopped here and came across there somewhere. Look at the size of the hotel, though. That's a 150-room hotel. It gives you a sense of the scale of the landscape. So I'm going to take a moment here so you see the process here. It's a toned canvas, a little bit of yellow ochre, and I'm just trying to figure out where these shapes are. And then I realize I got this big dark shadow in the lower left and I don't want it, so I've scrubbed everything off and started again. And I'm readjusting the shape because right now, this is the crux of the matter. You get these big shapes right. See, I'm thinking, oh, should go up a little higher. I want to get that out of there. Okay, get a little bit more. And then I erase that part because I want that part to be pulled and stretched a little bit more vertical. So I've spent quite a bit of time orchestrating and really pulling the vertical shapes. So the big masses of light and dark, I think at this point, are going to be effective. So you can see I've got some cobalt blue and white in for the sky. And then I'm testing out the warm and the cool colors for all that red rock. And then this is, it's the big shape. And I'm just going to keep blocking it in as that one color. I'll put certain sort of modulations on that when I'm done. But it's really that big shape and how the big shape of light and dark are interacting on the canvas that's going to make this thing work. So I've blocked that whole thing in, and then I'm going darker on the talus slope so that we're getting a sense of the vertical now sliding down on the slope. And, in some cases the paint is pretty thick. There's a bit of glare there, obviously, because it's all wet. But you see, I'm just putting in the shape. Big shape, lit shape, dark shape. So now we're getting to the lit part. I've put a little... I put this whole value in, and then I realized, that's a little bit too light, and I readjust it. But you can see I'm just thinking two shapes, lit shape. Now, obviously, it's a little easier than if there's several different colors and different things going on. Putting that darker paint in to kind of pull the two together a little bit better. And then when I come into the foreground part, I don't want too much attention here, so I make it quite a bit darker and duller than the part where I actually want you to look. We'll still read it as sunshine, but it just doesn't pull our attention down there quite so much. And then you see, already, big shape, light, dark, it's already really working, isn't it? So now we get that background thing, a little touch for the sky, for the cloud, and then we put the sunlight just sort of touching as it comes around. And need to be quite precise here because this is the part that really tells us there's some precision in the way the light is hitting those rocks. See, just one or two touches like that says, oh, I see the coming around the form there. And you see you can just see big shapes, light, dark. The whole thing kind of comes together quite simply. Now, there needs to be adjustments here. I'm sort of softening that section out on the far right because I don't want it to pull us to the left, which is where I want us to go. And then I'm getting some dark greens in for the vegetation there, very dull green. But we just need to sort of differentiate it from just the rock itself. And then some of the striations on the rock I need to put in and get some of those big darks in there to sort of give us the sense of what the structure is and how it overlaps as it goes back. But again, you know, there's a few places where I need to darken that talus, the edge of the talus slope to the vertical, just so we're really getting it clear. And then I just want to get some big darks in the foreground to sort of give us the sense of some structure there, both in the shadow and in the light. And then we're pretty much done. The whole thing is blocked in. Then I put a few of the lit greens in there just at the very end. And there's the finished painting. And you can see here the color actually is much more accurate than in the video. But you have big, simple shapes of light and dark. But I want to show you how I adjusted them compared to the way it actually was in nature. So I've outlined the shape that I was painting. And I want to show you how much I've actually manipulated that in the painting. And there you can see the same overlay on the photograph now on the painting. And you see how I've pulled it vertically so the big shapes fill the picture plane of the canvas more effectively. And again, there's the finished painting, but the structure of it that I was thinking of is there's this pull down to here. You know, the purple and the cloud are helping to bring us there. We've got this light down here that brings a nice kind of interplay that way, but not so strong that it interferes with us seeing here. And then rather than having the shadows more like this, I've stretched them right out to fill the entire picture plane. A lot of the success of that painting was just that initial work I did with yellow ochre, just drawing and redrawing till I really felt like I had those big masses of light and dark filling the picture plane well. Now I admit Monument Valley is a simple, stark landscape, but it's a really good landscape to demonstrate this idea. In 2 weeks, December 6th, I'm going to post another YouTube video, another landscape that's more complicated with bushes and trees and buildings and so on. And you'll see that I'm going to be doing the same thing, thinking in terms of the big shapes, carrying the painting. Now, something you might think about either for yourself or for your artist friends is a copy of Mastering Composition, Techniques and Principles to Dramatically Improve Your Painting. In a way, it's kind of like a textbook of everything that we're talking about on this channel each time I'm posting. And that has over 550 reviews on Amazon with an average of 4.8 out of 5 stars. And the other book is Creative Authenticity Techniques. No, this one's 16 Principles to Clarify and Deepen Your Artistic Vision. And that is more about who we are as artists and what we're wanting to do and express in terms of our artistic expression. And that has 275 reviews with an average of 4.6 out of 5. So they've been well reviewed over time. So I will see you on December 6th. I hope this video has been helpful and engaging. I wish you 2 weeks of terrific creative expression. I will see you December 6th. Until then, all the best and bye for now.